Hi, and welcome to another episode of SMA Code Connections. I'm Ashley Gooden, your SMA Code Development Representative. Today, I would like to take a few minutes to discuss the clear width of stairs and the requirements in the International Residential Code, the IRC, and briefly the requirements in the International Building Code, the IBC. So, let's begin with what clear width is as well as what it is not. Let's take a look at the relevant code section from the IRC. This is from the 2024 IRC. Keep in mind that the numbering has changed from prior editions of the building code. We're currently updating the SMA visual interpretation, so look for that soon. The relevant section of the code is R318.7.1 width. As stated before, the IRC is prescriptive, meaning that it gives very specific measurements and means of compliance with the code. This section is specific that there must be 36 inches of clear width at all points above the permitted handrail height. This is a key takeaway. The clear width is measured above the handrail. So let's look at SMA's 2021 visual interpretation of the IRC for illustrations. Handrails are allowed to project a maximum of 4.5 inches into the stairway for each side. Therefore, you find a reduction of 31.5 inches of width where there's one handrail and 27 inches where handrails are installed on both sides of the stairway. These minimum widths are valid at and below the height at which the handrail is installed. This is important to note. This means that the clear width required is not measured at the tread, between the skirt boards, between infill, etc., below the rail. The clear width is measured above the handrail height. It's very important for you to consider newels and fittings or any decorative trim above the rail height and at the openings at the top and bottom of the stairway of each flight of stairs. Reductions are taken below the handrail height based on the presence of one or two handrails. Again, 4.5 inches of handrail projection is allowed on each side. As discussed in previous code connections, while the IRC is a prescriptive code that provides very distinct requirements for compliance, the IBC is dependent on building usage and occupancy loads to determine the clear width of stairs. So now let's take a look at the relevant code section at the IBC. IBC speaks of width as a function of the required capacity of the stairway. This is found in section 1011.2. You will see that there is a minimum width, or as it is referred to in the IRC as clear width, of 44 inches. Please note that there are exceptions for occupant loads of less than 50 people, which would apply to individual dwelling units. That exception allows for a 36-inch clear width. The same reductions of 4.5 inches of each side of the stair are taken for handrails that are installed. However, the IBC requires that rails be installed on both sides of the stairway, with a few exceptions in individual dwelling units, but for the most part, IBC handrails on both sides. I hope that this has helped with your understanding for the required widths of stairways. As always, if I may be of assistance, please feel free to reach out by email at coderep@stairways.org or by giving us a call. Thanks, and have a great day.